What's up, guys? HockeyDude1940 here, and we are back with another episode of our New York Islanders BGM mode. And in the last episode, we went to the trade deadline. We made some trades. We didn't change up the actual roster. We just added some depth for the playoffs when we turned those injuries on. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you guys agreed with me. And so yeah, we're just gonna simulate the rest of the season here. But before we do that, we'll just check out the standings, because I don't think we did that in the last episode. So we'll just see where we're at. And see what we need to do here in the final stretch. Alright, so in the Eastern Conference, we are 5th in the Eastern Conference. What place are we in the Metropolitan? We are 2nd in the Metropolitan Division, tied with the Rangers. We're not too far ahead, but pretty far ahead of Columbus and Carolina. We're well behind Pittsburgh. It looks like Pittsburgh's taken the Presidents, maybe. Yeah, it's looking like it. Yeah, let's see the entire league. Let's see. Yeah, Pittsburgh's running away with the Presidents. I mean, maybe Winnipeg and Colorado can catch them, but Pittsburgh looks like they're on fire right now. But yeah, so let's look at this. Goals for per game. We are 5th in the NHL, so we're scoring plenty of goals. Goals against per game. We're 13th, so we're in the top half of the league, so that's pretty good. Power play percentage. We're 6th in the NHL, 20%. We score once in every 5 power plays. That's pretty good. Penalty kill percent. We are 17th. That's not very good. But it's not too bad. I mean, we're only like 1% away from, top 10. So I'm not too upset about that. And then a home record, away record. So it looks like we're pretty good at home, which is pretty good, I guess. All right, so let's start the simulation. Let's simulate the rest of this month, and then we'll check out the standings again and see what we need to do in the last 2 weeks of the season. And try to make those playoffs. It looks like John Tavares, he could get 60 goals. He could. 5-4 loss to the Rangers on deadline day. The Minnesota Wild, pretty similar record. Ooh, we lose again. Pretty sure they were both overtime losses, or one of them was. I think one of them was. Or maybe they were both regulation, I'm not sure. Alright, come on, boys. You need to bounce back against the Devils. They're not looking too good. There we go, 3-2. That's a good win. John Gibson, he gets up to 30 wins. Right, the Montreal Canadiens, we're pretty close with them as well, and we beat them 6-4. There we go. San Jose Sharks, another team we're close with, even though they're in the other conference. And we get a 3-1 win. There we go. So we lose 2 in a row. We bounce back with a 3-game winning streak. That's what I'm talking about, John Tavares. If Tavares can get 50 goals, that's incredible. He's got plenty of time to do it. He's got like another month to do it. At the Devils again, and there's another win over the Devils, 3-2. Yeah, the Rangers actually just beat the Devils tonight, 3-1. They're now on a 8-game winning streak. I think I'm gonna make a Let's Talk NHL video about it actually. But yeah, there's another win over the Sharks and another win over the Coyotes. Oh my God, 10 goals in 2 games, back-to-back nights as well, on a road trip. Right, the LA Kings, keep it going, boys. The LA Kings. What's it going to be? Oh, we lose 3-2. Yeah, it was a regulation loss as well. But we went on like a 5 or 6 game winning streak there. That was crazy. And Tavares, he hit 50s at 51 goals. And Toffoli, 45 assists. There we go. The Calgary Flames, there we go, 2-1. We stole Johnny Gaudreau. Came back to bite him. Maybe he scored in the game. Who knows? Alright, the Dallas Stars and the Chicago Blackhawks back-to-back. Man, we're playing a lot of road games. Tyler Seguin and the Stars. There we go, 4-2 win. We're doing really well. That was a little stretch here. The Blackhawks doesn't look like they have the best record. Man, well, are they going to make the playoffs? I mean, I'd assume so. Oh, 3-1 win. Maybe they won't. Who knows? They're going to have to pick it up in the last couple weeks. It'll definitely be interesting. I mean, it is year 3. I mean, anything can happen by year 3. The Rangers, they don't look too good. Well, no, they're tied with us. That's not too bad of a record. But we beat them 4-1. Alright, the Philadelphia Flyers. Looks like they're struggling too. Giroux looks like he's doing well though. Oh, we lose 5-3. That was our first regulation loss in quite a while though. First loss. Alright, so since the trade deadline, let's look at this. Since the deadline we went, I'm gonna count overtime losses as regular losses. So 3-2, 6-2, 6-3, 9-3. 10-3, so we went 10-4 since the trade deadline. That is fantastic. So let's just check out the standings once again, see where we're at. Alright, so we're now 6th in the NHL. That's crazy. It looks like the Penguins are going to take that precedence. But yeah, 6th in the NHL. We already clinched a playoff spot, so in the last couple weeks of the season, we don't have to worry about a thing. That's perfect. We are 3rd in the Eastern Conference. We didn't quite clinch our division just yet. Or no, the Penguins were in our division. They clinched it. We're tied with the Rangers, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, if we could get home ice advantage if we stay ahead of them. But, yes, it looks like Florida. Florida looks like their young guns got better, even though we stole Barkov and Ekblad. So maybe we'll face them in the playoffs. Who knows? Toronto and Pittsburgh, obviously. The Rangers, Montreal, Tampa Bay, Columbus is in there. Let's see who's not in there. The Flyers aren't in it. Ottawa, Boston's down here at 12th. Man, Boston just doesn't do well in the simulation. Before I do my next GM mode, I think I'm going to just stack Boston. I don't know if I can stack them enough to where they'll do well in the simulation, but every single GM mode I've done, the Boston Bruins, you never see them make it to the Cup. You never see them make it past the second or third round. They miss the playoffs by like year 2, maybe even in year 1. I'm not sure what I can do to make them that good. I mean, maybe I can make Zdeno Chara like 100 overall, even though I know you can't do it, but I'm just saying. What do I have to do to make Boston a winning team? I think it's just that they have, a guy like Milan Lucic. He's 88 overall, so they put him on the first line, the computers, and, what happens in GM mode, unless you trade with computer teams, they rarely make trades. You can simulate 15 seasons and the teams will look exactly the same. So, they have a guy like Milan Lucic with Bergeron and Marchand, which is two two-way forwards and a power forward. That's not going to get you points. I think that's why Boston never really does that well. New Jersey, Detroit, Washington, and Buffalo is still dead last. Come on, Buffalo. It's 3 years. You got to pick it up. All right, the Western Conference, Colorado, Winnipeg, and LA made it. Looks like Winnipeg got better. Anaheim, Minnesota, Edmonton, it looks like they're finally good. St. Louis, Chicago, and Nashville, and Dallas, they're all battling. And San Jose, and Arizona. Man, all these teams. So, it looks like how many teams is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams. These 6 teams are all 5 points within each other, battling for the final 2 spots. That's crazy. It looks like Vancouver, they're dead last. Who's dead last in the league? I know this is taking a while, but I just want to see this stuff. So Buffalo's dead last, Vancouver's there, Washington. So it looks like Buffalo might get another top 2 pick. Alright, so let's just simulate the rest, and then we'll check out the player stats for the season. And then in the next video, this might be a shorter video, but in the next video we will check out we'll play the first round of the playoffs. So hopefully we don't get matched up against the Penguins. I don't think it can happen. I think we're a little bit too far ahead of all the other teams in the East. There's another win. We're at, 96 points right now? It's crazy. Alright, the Penguins, they're first in the NHL. Oh, we lose 2-1. It was an overtime loss, though, so I'm alright with that. We lost in overtime to the best team in the league. Alright, now we're playing the worst team in the league, and we lose 2-1. That was a regulation loss as well. I don't get that. We lose in overtime to the best team, and we lose in regulation to the worst. Alright, the Panthers, the team we traded some players to. I don't even remember who we traded there. 6-4 win. There we go. Barkov probably lit it up. The Flyers, we lost to them last time. Can we get our revenge at the end of the season? There we go. 3-1 victory. And then the Florida Panthers, the team we made a big trade with. Actually, I think I still have... yeah, I do still have the trade thing in front of me here. I have a big stack of, sticky notes that I've written a bunch of different stuff down on, and I actually have it here. We traded... Who did we trade? We traded Kyle Okposo and Franz Nielsen to the Florida Panthers, so we'll actually do an in-game simulation of that. That's a pretty good rivalry that's been building up. Maybe it was a bad idea to trade them to another Eastern team, but we'll see. So first period, 3-1. There we go. Ryan Strome, Calvin DeHaan, and John Tavares. Branson got one back for them, but we'll see what happens. Second period, there we go. No goals scored. I'm fine with that. Third period, there's another one. Wayne Simmons, power play goal. Ooh, Carrick got one back for them. He's probably top 6. There we go. Ryan Strome, his second in the game, I believe. Power play goal. Was it his second? Did he score in the first? Yeah, he did. So that's his second power play goal of the game. And our power play is great. We scored 4 power play goals in that game. Our power play is just clicking, man. It really is. It's insane. Alright, what a season for the New York Islanders. It may have been our best season yet. I'm pretty sure it is. Because year one, we barely finished. We barely made the playoffs. Year two, we barely missed the playoffs. And then this year, we just tore it up. I mean, top of the league, pretty much. Alright, so let's simulate up a couple days. Let's see who we're facing in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Look at that. Tavares, 55 goals. Barkov, 51 assists. And our top penalty minute guy was only 91 penalty minutes, which isn't bad. The New York Rangers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I have to face my favorite team in the first round of the playoffs. That'll be an interesting series, to say the least. It only took you 931 days since you earned your rookie stripes. I think your hard work cut out for you now to get... Man, they word these things really weirdly. I think you have your work cut out for you now to get veteran status, but I believe you can do it. Let's actually review this, because I want to see the stats. Let's look at our statistics. So yeah, this was by far our best season. This was our best season by what? 12 points? That's great. 48 wins compared to 43 and 40. A few less losses. Goals for by far our best season, and goals against our best season. So yeah, this is definitely our best season so far. What's all this? That's fine. Staff abilities. My pro scout. Yeah, let's go with assistant coach. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Take that off. I want medical staff. Yeah. Let's boost that up 3. Yeah, because we're gonna turn on injuries for the playoffs. We actually need medical staff now. So that's good that we get to boost that up. But the New York Rangers, looks like I got to face them in the first round of the playoffs. The New York rivalry, man. Could you imagine that series? I mean, these two teams, they haven't faced each other in the playoffs in forever. Mainly because the Islanders never make the playoffs. But yeah, so let's check out the stats. The player stats. Or no, we'll check out the standings first for the season. So yeah, the Penguins. Actually, Toronto gained some ground on them. But the Penguins were able to win the Presidents. We finished 5th in the entire NHL. That's great. Eastern Conference, we finished 3rd. So, yes, we will have home ice advantage. These two teams, I mean, Phil Kessel and the Maple Leafs and Sidney Crosby and the Penguins, I'd be kind of afraid to face those two teams in the playoffs, but I think we have a fantastic team here in New York. Goals for per game, we are 4th in the entire NHL. Goals against per game, we are 7th. I think that actually went up. Power play percentage, 2nd in the NHL, barely behind the Panthers with Kyle Okposo. Man, we're going to face them in the playoffs. I know it. I'm calling it. If we make it past the Rangers, we're definitely facing the Panthers. It just has to happen if they can win the first round. Let's see. Penalty kill percentage, 20th. Did that go down? I think it actually went up a little bit, or maybe it went down a little bit. I think it was at 82% before, so it went down a little bit, but I'm not too worried. I mean, we're great for goals against, so I mean we do have to let up our goals somewhere. Home and away, our records look pretty much identical. There was only one more regulation loss for away, almost identical records. 7-2-1 headed into the playoffs, so we are a hot team headed into the playoffs right now. So that's great. So let's check. Actually, I think our AHL team's doing well, but I won't waste time with that. So let's look at our player stats for the season. And John Tavares, how many points did he get? Did he get his career high? Guess we'll see. Alright, so the points. John Tavares, 95 points, 55 goals, 40 assists. I think he's doing pretty well without Okposo on his side. Only 45 penalty minutes, plus 7, 19 power play goals, 10 game-winning goals. This guy's a beast. Over 300 shots on the net. Yeah. John Tavares. Superstar, to say the least. Yeah, he's going to be our superstar for the next 10 years. Yeah, so let's look at his stats in his career. Yeah, his career high by far. He got back-to-back 86 points and 95 points. He just went to town this season. He had 5 goals better than his career high. He scored 15 more goals and 9 more points than he did last season. Great job, Tavares. Tyler Toffoli, 78 points. For those of you who said these were bad trades right here, Barkov and Toffoli, they were both 70-plus point players. Toffoli almost hit 30 goals. He hit almost 80 points. Barkov hit 70 points, 50 assists alongside of Tavares. He was setting these two guys up. And Ryan Strome, our second-line center, 67 points. And this he's going to get a good jump, man. 23 years old. Yeah. Yeah, look at this. 3 years. That year, he only got one game played. And then 21 points to 67. What a jump that is. 30 goals. Johnny Gaudreau, 65 points. That's perfect for the second line. And Wayne Simmons, another 60-point season out of Wayne Simmons. Yeah, he's Mr. Consistency. He had a pretty bad year last year, but I mean, he's been pretty consistent. Another 28 goals from him. That's great. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 56 points. A bounce back year for Ekman-Larsson. No, not a bounce back year. I was thinking of somebody else. But yeah, he did drop a little bit. I mean, he was up there at 70, but now he's down to 50. But he was allowing our offensive players to get points. He was the type of guy to skate it up to the red line or the blue line, make that, breakout pass to a guy like Toffoli or Barkov, who then passed it to Tavares, and let those guys go to work. So yeah, 50-plus points is great for Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Aaron Ekblad, 40 points, close to 40. That's great for him. Calvin DeHaan, 30 points, that's good. Brock Nelson, 27 points. Cizikas, 26. And Joel Ward, 20 points. So that third line, yeah, they were all plus players as well. I like that third line. That's a great line. Then the fourth line, Boyd Gordon, Chad LaRose, and Matt Bolesky. Look at that. They actually got points for us. And no, Bolesky, he was on the Ducks. Never mind. Those aren't stats from him here. It's Clutterbuck. Yeah, so they actually got more points this year, I think. No, not Joel Ward. Gordon, how many did he have last year? He had 16, so he actually went up. They're still minus players, which is interesting, but I guess we do have to allow our goals somewhere. All right, then Reinhardt, 20 points. And Boychuk, 14. Yeah, man, Boychuk, he really dropped off as far as offense. Or no, he never was up there. I just remember him playing with Ekman-Larsson. But, yeah, Boychuk. I mean, plus 9. He didn't have a bad year. He's a great defensive defenseman. I mean, you just look at this defensive category. He's still a great player. He's the type of guy that we trade at the draft. Because, obviously, 3 years left. We do want to trade away that contract before he gets the 3 or 2.5 star potential. Smead, he did not play for us, and Hamonic, 9 points. I believe all of our defensemen were plus players, right? Except for Ekman-Larsson and DeHaan and Hamonic. Never mind. Forget what I just said. So goaltenders, John Gibson, 2.58 goals against average, 40, 21, and 5. That's a great record. Not the greatest goals against average, but I mean, still a great goaltender. Let's actually compare it to previous years. That's actually his best so far. So he's getting progressively better. Save percentage was .913. It was better in previous years, but yeah, 3 shutouts and an assist. Yeah, I'm fine with John Gibson in the net. American-born superstar goaltender. I'm fine with him. All right, so those are the individual stats for our player. Oh wait, I forgot. Let's look at the entire NHL. See who won that Art Ross, who won the Rocket Richard. Who knows? Maybe Tavares finally got that Rocket Richard. But I'd assume somebody like Stamkos or Drouin or one of those guys got 65 goals or something crazy like that. Alright, so gotta go through all the divisions. NHL. Okay, let's check out the most points. And it is, yeah, Steven Stamkos, 102 points. Malkin, 97. Tavares, 95. So he finished third in the NHL for points. He was only 7 points behind the first place guy. Not bad. Patrick Kane, 94. Kessel, 91. Nugent Hopkins, 88. Getzlaf, 87. Huberdeau, 86. Hall, Crosby, Palmieri. Wow, Kyle Palmieri, 81 points, 40 goals. Jesus. Doesn't have too great. I mean, it is a decent shooting category, but it's nothing too great. Man, this guy. Wow, that potential really helped him out, huh? Maybe he's playing alongside Getzlaf. Who knows? Kopitar, Giroux, Perry. I'm looking for, yeah, Oposo, 80 points. So, but that's fine. I still love that trade. Now let's look at goals. And yes, John Tavares is your Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy winner. So we finally got it. The most goals in the NHL. Kessel got 50 goals. Stamkos, Malkin, Kane, all these guys were close. But John Tavares led the league in goals. Finally, there you go, Tavares. Penalty minutes, Dylan McElrath on the Rangers. I made him a little bit better. I boosted up his potential a little bit, I think. 3.5 star. Discipline 60. I mean, Jesus. Actually, maybe I didn't edit him. I don't know if I did. He's got great defensive awareness, actually. He's not a bad defenseman. He just takes a lot of penalties. Obviously, McQuaid, Tenorti. Plus minus power play goals. I actually want to see this. Yeah, Tavares led the league in power play goals. Short-handed goals. Kadri. Game-winning goals. Malkin. Shots. I mean, this is all kind of pointless, but I just like to look at this stuff. Let's look at face-offs one. Who is the best face-off taker? Kyle Turris. Interesting. Takeaways. Who's the shoe-in for the Selke? What? Charlie Coyle is 93 overall? Are you kidding me? Whoa. That potential. 4.5 star. Yeah, he got pretty good. Well, he's 5-star physical and 5-star defense with the 5-star shooting and puck skills and skating. Yeah, man, he's a great, well-rounded player. Wow, Charlie Coyle. 91 defensive awareness, 89 offensive awareness. And he only got 61 points? Jesus. As a 93 overall player. That's crazy. Let's look at some of these overalls. Maybe somebody else is insane. Crosby's 97. Koivu. That doesn't look like anybody else is freakishly up there. Whoa, Johansson's 93 overall. Wow, Columbus. There's your superstar right there. Wow. Alright. So now let's go to goalies. Who had the most wins? Varlamov and Gibson were tied for the most wins. Goals against average. Marc-Andre Fleury. So it looks like, wow, 31-6. Oh man, I think the goalie rotations, yeah, messed it up for some teams. But save percentage, man, Philip Grubauer didn't do too well. Marc-Andre Fleury, yeah, so it looks like Fleury's a shoo-in for the Vezina this year. Who knows, maybe he didn't play enough games. Shutouts, Carey Price with Fleury right behind him. Who played the most time? Carey Price by far. Well, not really by that much farther than Gibson, but penalty minutes. Did any goalies take any penalties? No. How about goals? I swear to God, I've seen it happen. I think it was actually recently. I think it was one of my personal GM modes. I forget what goalie it was. But a goalie did score another goal. I've seen it a couple times now. Some goalies got some assists. Point-producing goalies. Maybe we should get a point-producing goalie. Who knows? Let's actually look at defensemen. I don't think I saw any defensemen in the top points. Carlson, 78 points. There it is. 28 goals. This guy consistently gets it done. Tyson Barrie, 62. Green, who's on the Coyotes, 62 points. Weber, 61. Subban, Kulikov, Letang, McDonough, Ekman Larson, Jelena, Doughty. How good is Jelena? 86. Rundblad. No, I thought it said Rundblad was on the Maple Leafs. Yep, so see what I'm saying? Like, none of the big-time players have really been traded. Which is interesting. Yeah, so I think that's all we really need to do. Let's look at the playoff tree. That's what we can do to end off the video. Alright, so this is the playoff tree of the first round. LA Kings and St. Louis Blues. That'll be crazy. Will St. Louis finally make it to the second round? Anaheim Ducks versus Edmonton Oilers, Colorado Avalanche versus Chicago Blackhawks, Winnipeg Jets versus Minnesota Wild. On the East, Toronto versus Tampa Bay, Montreal versus Florida, Pittsburgh versus Columbus, and New York versus New York. The Islanders versus the Rangers. So those are your 16 teams in the playoffs. One of them will emerge champion in a couple months. So we'll see what happens in the next episode in the first round against the New York Rangers. I'll see you guys there.